Leo, welcome to your September 2015 Tarotscope. This is Gwendolyn, and I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. I've also really been enjoying doing all the personal readings for those of you who have been booking readings with me. And I did have a client who came up with a new format, which I thought was a brilliant idea, of a pre-recorded video. So if you want to book a reading with me, but you don't have the time to do it, in person or online with me, I can do a pre-recorded video for you. So that's available with either the hour-long or the half-an-hour-long video option. So anyway, I just want to say thanks to my client who thought of that, because I thought that was a great format. So Leo, this is for you for 2015 for September. And let's see what's in the cards for you, Leo. I think there's one more shuffle needed here. Okay. So, ooh, Empress, starting off the month. What a nice card to open the month on. I think someone else got that too, one of the other signs. It's just a great, fertile card showing that things are growing. And for those of you who are interested in the deck that I'm using, this is the Greer deck. A lot of you have expressed interest in it. I actually love this deck and its vibrant colors and the imagery, but I'll put a link to it in the description because I know there are several of you who have been interested in this. So Leo, again, at the beginning of the month, you have Empress, which is growth energy. Empress is abundant. She's all about prosperity, abundance, fertility, things growing. She represents the goddess of like the harvest. You can see these shafts of wheat that she's holding in her hand, and behind her, she's the equivalent of Demeter in the Greek tradition or Ceres, the Earth Mother. So she's often depicted as pregnant or very fertile. And she represents everything that is to do with growth. So things may be really growing for you, Leo, right now, either in a way of your personal life, with your family, with your business, with your, anything that you're putting your attention to, it's growing, and this is nurturing energy. So things are becoming abundant, fulfilled. It's like your garden is growing. So that's great energy to start off September with for you, Leo. Also, starting off in September, we have a Pisces full moon on August 29th. We just had that. And that for you, Leo, falls in your 6th house, which traditionally represents work or health matters. So there may be a way in which either your work is growing or whatever it is that you started back in March. I think March 20th was the new moon in March, and so whatever seeds you began to sow at that time should be coming to fruition now. So if there's a project that you started at that 3rd week of March around the new moon, this is the full moon that is the expansion or culmination of those efforts. So you may be able to harvest some things or seeing fruits of your labor of all the growth that has happened since March. She's actually her foot is sitting on this new moon here too. So it's sort of like everything that was planted during that time. This is a pomegranate, which represents the underworld or the winter months in the Greek mythology. And then she comes forth and, all the flowers bloom, all the trees are in green, there's waterfalls, there's sometimes like bunnies or animals running around in this card. So enjoy the fruits of your labor. September is often a harvest month too. So Leo, especially for you, that's something that's available to you. One thing to be careful of also towards the beginning of the month is don't fall into victim mentality or powerlessness. This is 8 of Swords, which means for me, in relation to you for this month, Leo, I'm seeing it as being stuck in your head. And this is sort of like being confined, because swords represent the mental element and thoughts and ideas. It's sort of like being confined to only a handful of thoughts, and it keeps you immobilized. So what I'll say with this card, often this is a card of stagnancy, victimization, powerlessness. She feels like she can't move. She feels like she's stuck. open your mind is what this card is saying to me. She has the power, I always say in this card, to cut her binds on one of the swords, take her blindfold off, and walk away. But she doesn't see that because she's wrapped up in the thoughts that, oh, this is how it is. I'm confined by these things. I don't have any power. She's not accessing her own power. So this says to me, for you, Leo, don't get caught up in your own limiting thoughts about how things are. That's going to be a recommendation for you with this card showing up. You have two interesting cards here that are about wish fulfillment and creation. However, they're both in reverse. Nine of Cups represents, this is a card of great satisfaction. By the way, so is this. These two cards, Empress and Nine of Cups, great cards of satisfaction. What may block you or limit you to some of the satisfaction is having any sort of powerlessness, victim mentality, getting caught up in your own head. So be careful of that. Again, see if you can, I'll even say, see if you can consider other people's ideas, or see if you can consider an idea that you haven't thought of before, because the current thought pattern is restricting you. So open your mind. And then that will unlock this Nine of Cups energy. This is in reverse, but Nine of Cups in the upright position means feeling fully satisfied, feeling a wish come true. It's like abundance. It's almost like it can't even mean too much of a good thing. So Nine of Cups is completely satisfied, completely satiated. I've seen this card depicted in other decks where Nine of Cups is with a lover at a full table with a full banquet. So it's like having the full 9 cups behind you, I always see this too for some reason as like a winemaker that has a whole locker full of caskets of wine, and they just kind of like, the wine is flowing. Life is good. Wishes are being fulfilled. He's content. He's full. He's satiated. But because it's in reverse, I'm going to say that there might be a wish that's not coming true for you, or there's something that's available to come true, but you're not quite allowing it to come to the surface. When cards are in reverse, I read them as being in shadow or being present but not being allowed to come to the surface. So my question to you is, what wish do you have that you're not allowing to be fulfilled or come to the surface? Because the energy for it to be fulfilled is there. There is that energy there of you being satisfied, especially with this card. How is it that you can get out of victim mentality or limited thought processes, stagnancy, so that this wish that is here waiting for you can be fulfilled, so that it can come to the surface, so that it can be realized? That's my question for you in the beginning part of the month, Leo. And you actually, I see that you have the creative power, the focus, the concentration, and the consciousness to bring that about for yourself. Magician is a major arcana card, which is a great card of strength and focus. And he basically takes what's available from the possible world of the etheric realm, the abstract realm. Everything is possible. He acts as a lightning rod, and he brings that down to the physical world. He puts it into actuality, into reality, and he says, like, abracadabra, there it is. So you have this positive force available to you, Leo. You actually are a very creative card just by nature. Leos are all about creation, self-expression. You guys can always hold a limelight, and you make things happen, and you just have this creative fire within you. With Magician in reverse, I'm going to say, how is your creative fire being blocked? This is a card of basic creation. Magician says, I create around me what I believe, what I see. And so how is it that you're not seeing that you can create the situation? With these 3 in line, I mean, it's interesting. You have everything available to you. There's lots of abundance. There's lots of prosperity. There's lots of growth. There's lots of reaping rewards from seeds you sown earlier, like back in March. And it's an abundant, fertile atmosphere. How is it that your lack of vision perhaps, or your mindset is limiting you in order to not receive the wish fulfillment and the satisfaction and not feel like that you are a creative force that you are. Because magician is there. He is the ultimate creative force. He is the person who says, this is what I want, this is what I create, there it is. So he's showing up for you, but you're kind of blocking him. It's like he's waiting. The image I'm getting with him, it's really funny, is like he's outside of a nightclub behind the red velvet rope, and you're saying, no, you're not ready. You can't come in. You're not good enough or something. You're not the one who gets to entry. For some reason, he's being blocked. You just need to like let him in. Let him embody magician. Embody the parts of yourself that are magician, because it's there, Leo. This is there for you. Just let it come to the surface. You have the power. And it's also about fulfilling that wish that you have. So that's the first part of the month of September for you, Leo. And then in the middle of the month, there's a couple different things going on. This card is Chariot. Again, another major arcana card. You have, let me see, you've got 1, 2, 3 of those this month. And he is in line with this Empress card. Chariot usually means directing things with the mind. It's sort of like the force of will. What Chariot does is he takes his mind and he guides these horses in different directions just based upon his thoughts. He's a very intuitive card. You can see from these crescent moons that he's got this intuition about things, because the crescent moons represent the subconscious mind or the emotions, what's behind the hidden realm. So what he does is he just guides this chariot with his mind, and he says, I'm going to go left, I'm going to go right, I'm going to take the force of my mind and direct it outwards to direct action in the world. He's kind of like magician in that way. Whereas magician takes all the resources available to him. Magician takes the mental element of the sword, the fire element of the wand, the emotional element of the cup, and the physical element of the coin, and brings them all into synthesis with alchemy and creates something out of all those. The chariot is far more related to the mind element versus emotional, willful, fire, or physical. But what it's telling me is that you're either not making good decisions or you're not trusting your judgment. It echoes for me the Magician card, because this card is all about creativity, focusing of consciousness, of power to create results. And this one is all about heading in a particular direction, making decisions, trusting the force of the mind, trusting the intuition of the mind. Because it's in reverse, it's telling me that you're not accessing your highest force of will or your highest decision-making skills. You may have, your decisions may be in shadow right now. And I'm seeing too, with Empress having the crescent moon here and Chariot having the crescent moon, and also this card having the crescent moon, how is it that and by the way, the new moon is on September 13th, so these may be speaking to that for you. How is it that you have all this richness, all this growth, all this abundance and prosperity, all this growth basically since March, but that you're not trusting your decisions or your willingness to walk away from something and start a new journey? There's a block there for you, Leo, and I'm not sure what it's related to, but there may be some answers around the new moon where you can put these cards back in the upright position, like around the new moon. See if there's a way in which you can review your thought process and review your decision making, so that you do unlock this ability to begin something new, to walk away from something that you've put a lot of time and energy in. That's what Eight of Cups is telling me. Eight of Cups is usually about feeling a little bit weary, feeling perhaps like it's time to move on to a new chapter. This is something that you've put a lot of time and energy. I call it a lot of TLC. Eight of Cups, something you've built, a home, a job, a project, a relationship, just something you've poured a lot of yourself into. And Eight of Cups is willing to walk away. He says it's time to leave this thing behind and go check out new territory, go check out new areas. Around the time of the new moon, ask yourself, how is it that I am limiting myself? Am I holding on to something that I really feel is complete? Or, that's it. New moon is a great time for new, refreshing energy. It's a great time to plant new seeds, to allow them to grow and come to fulfillment. So that's one of the things Chariot in reverse is saying is review your decision-making skills, and also especially how it relates to trusting your intuition, because that's what he's usually the king of, or yeah, I guess the king. Also in the middle of the month, there is something related to a Queen of Cups person and related to resources that is in reverse. Queen of Cups is a very intuitive person, and this is in reverse here. So decision-making skills regarding the intuitive person, you're not trusting your intuition, perhaps, Leo, is what it's telling me. But this is traditionally a water sign, so this could be either Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces. And this has to do, Six of Coins has to do with resources. So a way in which resources, knowledge, power, money is being exchanged or divvied up or given. So it's being given to these people, but not to these people. Certain people are handing it out, certain people are receiving it, and other people are not receiving it. And this is telling me there's a balance in here. And what Six of Coins needs is a balance between how the resources are handed out. So that's, and especially in relation to Queen of Cups, there's some way in which there needs to be a correction of balance as to how the resources are being handed out, especially in relation to perhaps either a water sign person or someone who has a strong intuition. She is looking at these resources, and meanwhile, Chariot is upside down too. So how in the middle of the month are you going against your instincts, especially in terms of resources? Is a lot of your money going in one direction? Is it worth it? Is it paying off for you? That's my question to you. Because it looks like there may be some way in which you may be disappointed, or you may have some heartbreak. At this card, I'm really just reading for you more as disappointment rather than heartbreak. Because what this means is like having put your heart into something, having really invested trust and feelings and emotion into something that you really believed in, and then this sword kind of pierces it. Actually, these three swords pierce it, and it might be that that it has to do with three people. There's a dynamic of perhaps three people that's not working, that has caused you some disharmony or disappointment. So keep an eye out open for that in the middle of the month, Leo. It may have to do with resources and finances, and how are those being directed, and is it paying off for you? I think you need to trust your instincts on this, because Chariot and Queen of Cups in reverse, instinctive card, not being they're in reverse, so they're not being paid attention to. This is more of a mind card. She's more of an emotions card. So is there some way in which your emotions and your mind are not in alignment with one another in a way where it just feels like you're a little bit off in the middle of the month. So see how it is that you can trust your intuition. That is what will bring these cards back into their upright state. Okay, Leo, you can be very instinctive. And I think because the super full moon in Pisces, in your 6th house of work and health, if you have an instinct about something related to work or health, even if it's just a gut feeling, even if it's just like an intuition about something, follow that. Because especially with the super full moon in Pisces, your 6th house, work and health matters are highlighted. Something's coming to the surface for you to see it. And it's been a long time coming, so pay attention to it. Trust your instincts. Don't dismiss them. That's what I'm getting for you middle of the month. Don't dismiss your instincts either mentally or emotionally, especially related to finances or resources. Otherwise, you may find some disappointment in relation to that. So again, towards the end of the month, I'm even going to say that this may start brewing at the new moon, September 13th, but its effects will carry over for you well into the rest of the month. And this is a new journey. This is a weariness about how things are, and a prior investment in something that you loved, project, home, work, relationship, something that you've built upon over time, invest a lot of your heart in, and you're ready to watch that end, or you're ready to walk away from it. It can still remain. These 8 cups are still in alignment, but it's time for you to move on from that, Leo, and you're gonna feel that. What's funny though is you may have that feeling, but you may not allow yourself that. That's what the 8 of Cups in shadow or reverse tells me, is that you're kind of repressing this feeling. You may still feel like you need to be involved. You may still feel like you need to keep building, but your subconscious, and that's referring to this crescent moon here and here and here, saying, I do want to move on. I am weary of this. See if you can allow yourself that, Leo, because there's a weariness underneath that is trying to come forth. So let it come forth, and that may help you. Knight of Pentacles, or Knight of Coins, is a card of steadfastness. He's a card related to the material world, related to finances, related to matters of the physical world. And because he is a knight, he is still creative, romantic, playful. He's got kind of like a trickster energy, but he's the most stable of the knights. I often refer to this card as the salesman card. This is Jack of Diamonds, the equivalent of Jack of Diamonds, which is actually the same card as the United States. So Jack of Diamonds drives a hard bargain, and he's a salesman card. And he, in the Rider-Waite, he's got this coin that he's pondering and holding up, and his horse is at a standstill. So I actually call this also a bottom line card. So what is the bottom line? What is paying off for you? I'm also getting that in your 6 of Coins in reverse. Like, are you making decisions that are profitable? Are you making decisions that direct your resources in ways that are beneficial to you or not? And Knight of Coins says, consider the bottom line. Consider whether is it making you money? Are you benefiting in a material way? Are your asset, like, is your lifestyle or your home or things coming to you? Just consider that. This is a card of weighing balances back and forth. What are your values right now? Are you putting energy towards one value when really what you want is over here? This is a card of weighing options related to the material world, related to finances, assets, lifestyle, values. So consider, it's kind of like, the sun is at almost setting. It's like an evening card, or it could be a rising up of the sun, but it's time for a pause and evaluation of where your assets are going. So that's Knight of Coins for you. Maybe a good time too for sales. If any of you are in sales, you actually are facing, it's funny here, this spiritual journey. This is 2 of Wands. So you can see it almost looks, with these cards like this, it almost looks like the Knight of Coins is holding the second rod with you. So if you're involved with someone who's like a salesman person, this is often a earth sign. So this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. This could be a good salesperson for you, or this could be someone who brings you money. And this is a spiritual journey that you're on. 2 of Wands means personal power, feeling like you've got the world in your hands. It's also like the world is my oyster. So this could be like the knight that charges out in front of you, brings you the material assets for you to access your own personal power, feeling like you have this confidence and boldness. That's what 2 of Wands is all about. So this could be a nice partnership. If you have a earth sign that you're involved with, especially if they're like involved with sales or maybe even like property management or marketing, or you know, if they're a banker, if they're like your loan advisor. In some ways, Knight of Coins is there. Look at, you guys are a team, so that's especially highlighted towards the end of the month. That partnership may actually allow you to do this walking away that you're yearning for. However, one of the things that you're going to have to watch out for, especially in line with this, and I'll say more about it, is Five of Wands, and that can be competitiveness, and that can be open warfare, or on the lighter side, it can just be play, competition. It can be sport. So how is it you may experience that with this person, where you have this? It could either be like a playful repartee, you know, where you guys kind of zing each other, and it can be really fun. I'm seeing like maybe two lawyers in a courtroom or something, you know, having fun, poking fun at each other, or two comedians making jokes about each other. That could be the sort of like the playful sport nature of this card. However, because it's in reverse and because it's following these two characters, there may be some competitiveness. There may be some fighting. It's not open. I won't say it's open warfare, but I'll say there may be some passive aggressive conflict, or a way in which you guys are vying for the top spot. Because also it's in line with this disappointment. It's in line with this three person or three-way, not betrayal, but I'll say disappointment, and it's affecting your own personal power, like you feeling like you're not in charge, you feeling like you're not able to create the results you want. It's disappointing to you, and it's making you feel like you need to fight, or like this almost like bickering energy. So that's kind of what's going on for you, Leo. See if you can form a strong ally with this you know, earth sign person towards the end of the month, and be careful of what I'll say is just be careful about not getting into petty arguments. Because that's what I'm reading for this card in reverse. Be careful that it doesn't become like an ego battle. Because that's just more in line with disappointment. Just focus on correcting your own personal power, your own creativity, and then more than likely this will turn more into fun instead of competition. Okay, Leo, that is your reading for September 2015. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're ever interested in booking a reading with me, you can do that at readingsbygwendolyn.com. And I just want to say thanks to everyone for watching.